Hey everybody, how you doing? In this video, we are looking at how to create simple animations for our website. There are lots to choose from. I'm going to just show you one of them to start. We are not quite at the point where we are ready to make the mobile version just yet. If we wanted to just sort of put some final touches on it, maybe add some animations, clean it up, tweak the CSS to make it look better, whatever. We would do that at this point. Again, once the desktop version of the site is complete, then we start to focus on making the mobile version. And as of this point right now, let's just put a couple of sort of touches to it to make it look animated and a little bit more fancier when it loads. And I'm going to show you how to do that. It's relatively simple. We just need to put in a couple of, a class that will control that. And it's going to also allow me to show you how you can use or assign multiple classes to one part of the site. So in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to kind of work backwards. We're going to actually go into our CSS, scroll to the bottom. I'm actually going to make a section here called, this is a comment, by the way. I'm going to say this is animation section. Okay. I'm just going to kind of keep that separated. And I'm going to make the class before I actually apply it to something. So I'm going to have a class. Oops, I got to close that. Comment. I'm going to make a class and I'm going to call it fade in. Let's say fade in image. So this will be for an image that we have on screen. We're going to have it fade in. And so we are making the class for this. Anytime you want to define an animation, you're going to put the word animation and then the name of the animation that you're creating. In this case, I'm going to be making one for a fade in. And then the duration, how long it takes for that animation to happen. So in this case, I'm just going to put 3S, which stands for 3 seconds. That tells us that the fade in image class will run an animation called fade in that runs for 3 seconds. And underneath that, you use the @ symbol, and we're going to put keyframes, just like in every other program that uses keyframes. This is where we tell it what the animation is going to do. And we're going to use the same name we used above, fade in, which we used right here. Okay. And this is where we actually tell it what is going to happen in the animation. So in the fade in animation, the way keyframes work in CSS is we give it a position in time. So at 0%, which means basically at the start, the opacity or the transparency of the object that we are editing is going to be at 0, which basically means the object is clear. We don't see it. And at 100%, which is going to be 3 seconds. Okay, 0 would be 0 seconds. 100% is at the end of the animation, which is 3 seconds. Then the opacity changes to 1. And 1 signifies 100%. Okay, if we put like 0.9, that would be 90%. 0.8 would be 80%, just like with color. And that's all we have to really set up on the animation side of things. This tells the program, or tells the website that anything that has the fade in image class will run an animation and have it fade in for 3 seconds from 0 to 100. Okay, so basically from invisible to completely visible. Now I'm going to try this. I'm not sure if it's going to work. I'm going to save this. You won't see anything change on the website because we don't actually have it applied to anything yet. But I'm going to actually try it for this hero image in order for it to fade in. All right, so I'm going to go to our index. And I'm going to go to the hero title, which is right here. Sorry, the hero. I'm going to show you something. If you want to have multiple classes, you can put a comma, and we called that fade in image, I believe. Let me just make sure. Yes, fade in image. And I used hyphens to separate it. If I save that, look at that. You can see it faded in, but it didn't really do it the way it was supposed to. It did not come back. The picture did not come back. So let's take that out of there. Let's get that out. I think I assigned the classes incorrectly. Okay, but let's just let's try it on an actual picture instead, because I think that will work. We are going to, well, let's take a look. If we scroll down, we have got the nature is calling hiking picture. We could probably put it on there. Let's just do this. Sorry guys, 1 second. What we're going to do is we're going to assign 2 classes to the same object. And the way we would do it, oh, you know, I made such a silly mistake. We don't have to put a comma in this case. We are going to put fade in image like that, I think. Yes. Okay, do you see that? So my bad. And this is what happens when you work in a lot of programming languages of all sorts of different types, especially even in web design. In the CSS, when you want to apply multiple classes to, let's say, a bunch of styles that you're creating, you use commas. In HTML, all you have to do is put a space and then the name of whatever you want to have fade in. So the cool thing is with this, now that we have this animation built, we can literally just copy that and apply it to whatever we want. So let's say this div here with the about section, we want to have it there. Now all of that's going to fade in. All right, and so anything you apply that class to is going to fade in. It's going to allow you to have sort of a more dynamic looking website, I guess you could say, where you know, it's not just static and still. It's going to allow those elements to fade in as the page loads. Pretty cool. Could also do that even with the buttons if we wanted to. I don't know if we want to do that. That's getting a little whatever. But anyways, that's how you do it. Pretty simple. It works great. Just keep in mind, one caution here is that every time the page loads, okay, now the buttons fade in too. Let's say I go to contact page and then I come back. Every time you come to the page, that animation is going to play. And that's because that class is always loaded when the page loads. So be careful. You don't want it to get super annoying and then, you know, it detracts from what you're actually experiencing on the site itself. All right, we're going to end it on that one. We're getting very close to creating the mobile version now. I'm going to show you one more trick in the next video, and then we're going to focus on making this website mobile compatible.